Hey, welcome to my little corner of the world. Over to you. I have a different type of guest today. His name is Amani Roberts, and he's the kind of guy who helps people find that second act, especially in the music biz. So let's get to it and see what ticks with Amani, especially this now afternoon as I'm recording this. Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to see you here.
Likewise, likewise. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And where are you speaking from this afternoon?
Las Vegas.
Vegas, nice and
Yeah.
dry heat, as they,
That would be true. That would be true. Yes.
which I'm feeling here in the ATL in Atlanta
Okay.
here
Yeah.
in the
Hot and
south.
humid there.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling it today. It's
Hmm.
just really, really rough. Yeah, we had a good spring.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, yeah, not getting the rain. You know how that is in Vegas, where it's not coming, and
Yeah.
ooh, it gets brutal here. But yeah, here in Atlanta, we keep busy, and especially as you probably know in the music business as well,
Yes.
our R&B hip hop does very, very well here.
I know. I'm really well aware.
Yes, yes. It's I never expected that. I've seen a lot of changes over the years. I've been here for decades,
Hmm.
and it's just I never thought I would see not just in the TV and film industry, but music as well. And
Yeah.
it's just exploded by leaps and bounds. It's just
Yeah.
a
That's
happy
good.
accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So this is exciting, the kind of stuff that you do. Briefly, let us all know
Hmm.
what it is you do and how you help people get ahead in this very difficult industry.
Yeah. Yeah. So as like a fractional artist, manager. I really teach musicians about the music business so that they can make the best business decisions possible. Sometimes some of my clients want me to help them implement solutions as well, so I kind of have a done for you part of my business also. But it's primarily teaching them about the business and how they can make the best business decision possible so they can make money and create a legacy.
So how are you doing that? Like, artists obviously most don't really have that business acumen. It's about
Yeah.
really creating, being an artist, and you're really fighting with that left and right brain kind of thing. So, yeah, what is specifically like what do you get into to get people going, and what kind of advice do you give them and how to grow their business and to get out there?
Yeah, I do my best to teach them just really follow the money. That's the key. If
Yeah.
you follow the money, that'll get their attention. So try to create an ecosystem where they can get all their PR public performance royalties through their PRO. They get all their digital royalties through like a sound exchange. So if their music's being played on Sirius XM radio, Pandora, iHeartRadio, they can get those royalties. Then I teach them about the value of getting their owned. So their own, I'm going to say this a little funny, but they want to have their own like media. So for example, when you're marketing your music, you have paid, owned, and earned. And they need to have their website set up. They need to have a lead magnet so when people come to their website, they can give them an acoustic version of their songs so that they can get their email address. I try to stress the importance of growing your own community instead of building your house on rented land, which is like these social media platforms. Now, those are good for like vanity metrics, but really, once you grow your email list and your cell phone kind of list number, that's when you can really kind of get directly to the fans. Then I talked about kind of direct fan to artist platforms like a Patreon, Bandcamp, even. We work through that just to show them all the benefits of that. And then the more advanced level would be we try to prepare them for sync to get their music into TV shows, films,
Oh,
movies, commercials, video games. That's the long term goal. That's 9,
wow.
15, 2 years in the making. It takes time to build those relationships. So then you try to combine all those and you have your own business there. And that's kind of what I teach them.
Do you have like connections with people to get their material into things like TV, film, and all of that? Or do you basically just kind of point them in the right direction? Do you have actual total contacts?
A,
Uh,
a few here and there. Nothing that I can make a call and be like, put this artist in there. But I'm developing those myself. But I definitely point them in the right direction, not the wrong direction, the right
yeah.
direction, and I show them how to determine who the music supervisors are, who the sync agents are, And then really, between connections and networking, just trying to find the people there. A lot of times you can stir with some independent filmmakers who might have a limited budget, but just to get some placements. There's also a few services that you can submit your music to that will pitch on your behalf. So I try to show them all the resources. In some instances, I'll pitch for them. It's just that's the one thing I really kind of tell musicians. That's the long game. That takes a long time to make happen.
Yeah, that seems like that second tier once you
Yeah.
get them out, because there's so many formats out there.
Yeah.
How do you help somebody who has no clue, like how to get on Spotify or something like that? Do you step them through it? Hey, let's do a screen share. I'm going to show you how to set this account up.
Yeah, I'll let them choose between a TuneCore, a CD Baby, a DistroKid. Those are the three main platforms we use for distribution. Walk them through the process for one song, a second song, and then kind of it's just teaching. And this repetition, get them to have their cover art correct, lyrics, metadata, everything in order, all their ISRC codes, and then post and just keep posting.
Yeah, totally. It's a whole science.
Yeah.
And you have published, do you have more than one book out there? You've just published one more recently.
Two books. The first one came out in April 2020. It's called DJs Mean Business. Takes you through the time slots of a DJ set and relates it to growing a business, starting from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And that was the first book. And then my most recent book, The Quiet Storm, that came out in February 2025. That was the one that made the USA Today bestseller list. So we did really well with that one.
So you obviously keep on the cutting edge. What's the secret to your sauce to just keeping up on the pulse of music and the world just moves so fast
It
now.
does. I would say just talking to people in the industry, reading certain publications. There's a couple great newsletters I love. Dan Runcie has a great newsletter, Platform and Stream, another good Substack. Music Business Worldwide, Hypebot, Billboard Magazine, great resources and a literal magazine. Listening to podcasts that I like. And just trying to stay ahead of the curve that way. Just reading and listening and watching. And then by teaching my students at the university, they keep me hip too because they know things early on also.
Yeah, that's where it's all growing. When we're doing our day gigs or night gigs, like the kids in school are on the cutting edge because
Right.
they got all the time in the world just to sit there and find out what the next big thing is. So
Exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
you're
So
learning while I'm just doing, and
yes.
they're like now you're getting ahead. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
teach me. I mean, that's the thing when you've been doing something for so long and you want to stay current and everything, but you're so busy just doing your regular jobs, just going through the day, and then these little kids come up and they know all these things, the next greatest thing. So yeah, that's pretty big. So where are you teaching out there in Vegas?
Yeah. I teach actually at Cal State University Fullerton, so I'll
Oh,
commute back and
Fullerton.
forth.
Cool.
Yeah, in Los Angeles and teach there one day a week. And the semester is just ending, so I'm just finishing up grading papers, and then we get summer break.
Yeah, we're coming up on that. That's great.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
how big of a commute is that going Vegas to
So it's
Fullerton?
like a 4 hour drive or like an hour flight. So depending on schedule, because I do a lot of work in LA, I split my time between LA and Vegas, so I kind of make it work around my schedule.
Yeah, yeah. So how did it all start for you in your own personal history, getting into this, getting into music, and just did you grow up with lots of music in the house, and you were like,
Yeah.
I want to get into this business somehow?
Well, I grew up like I used to play like a lot of soccer, so we'd have to travel up and down the East Coast, and so in the car there'd always be music playing, and so that was my first exposure. Then on Saturday mornings, before we could watch cartoons, my dad would always wake us up by playing music on the stereo. So you combine those two, that's my first exposure. Then played in like jazz band in high school, and from there, I saw DJs when I was in college. I was like, ooh, I want to do what he does. I saw Bismarck E. And it took me a while to get the courage to go for it. So once I moved around, I used to live in Atlanta too.
Oh,
I got to LA, and then I decided to first teach myself how to DJ. Then I went to Scratch Academy twice, once for the DJ program and once for the music production program. Scratch Academy was started by Jam Master Jay from Run DMC. And that was just kind of how I got it off and running. And then I kind of built my own DJ business. I got an opportunity through volunteering at an association to first guest speak at a bunch of universities. Then Cal State Fullerton said, "Oh, we have an open adjunct position. Are you interested?" And now here we are almost 8 years later.
Yeah, yeah, and thriving.
Yeah.
So, do you have a permanent home? Like, is it Vegas and then basically rent out in Los Angeles?
Basically, yeah, like Vegas, and then you don't have a room or a place to stay in LA if I need it, or I come back and forth the same day. I was just there last week for a conference. I was there for a whole week. I'll be back in a couple weeks. So it's just back and forth depending on what conferences I'm attending, teaching, meetings, etc. So kind of balance between the two.
Fun, fun. It's just exciting. So, what do you see with kids these days and all the talent out there? Do you have a lot of hope for the future?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Supremely talented. The students that want it, they are very eager to learn. Got good, strong work ethic. So they continue to inspire me, and so I'm excited to see what they do and join them on their journey.
Yeah. And have you have an interesting title, Chief Musical Curator?
Yeah.
That's like it's more than beyond than somebody like saying, "Oh yeah, this person's like an archivist." It's like no,
Hmm.
it's a whole lot more than that. This is
Oh yeah.
like a huge discipline.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because you combine being a DJ, being a music historian, and an artist manager. That's a good way to kind of combine all three, and you can go wherever you need to go from there in that title.
Yeah, the whole thing is in being on these platforms, Pandora, Spotify, and even the legacy artists say, yeah, streaming is just not making me the money, like, the traditional way of doing it. I, so where do you basically tell people where to stress to make their money? Isn't it? It seems like it's really in publishing, like, ASCAP, if you get on there, ASCAP BMI, it seems to me like that really could, give you some income rather than
Yeah,
just these streaming platforms.
yeah, yeah. I like to tell people streaming is more marketing now. Unless you're the top 1 or 2%, you're not going to make a lot of money off streaming. So it's marketing, but you can make money in the short term, live shows, touring, that's the short term. But the long money, the mailbox money, as we call it in the music business, is the publishing. And so you get your music, you work your catalog, eventually you get some syncs, you get people playing it, or covering your songs. And that's where the long money is. So short term would be touring, long term would be publishing. In between, I recommend growing your community on like a subscription based platform so that you can get some monthly income and grow your fan base. Because the goal is really to get to 1,000 true fans, the whole Kevin Kelly concept, and get them to pay or invest $100 a year in you, and that will be $100,000, and that's a pretty good living here in the states, and grow from there. So that's kind of the goal. That's the philosophy I teach.
And how important is it getting the music videos out there? It's really just gone to YouTube and TikTok and places like that. And MTV has become a thing of the past. I remember when that
MTV,
was.
they don't really they don't play videos anymore. I would say videos are important because YouTube currently is like the second largest search engine in the world. And so you want to have your videos there in all formats, whether it be the vertical for shorts, reels, and TikToks, the regular 1920 by 1080 for long form content. So video is really important because that's how we consume content now. But you want to have it in both kind of formats and just continue to create it and share it. And you're kind of your own brand, your own TV station.
I think would be more interesting, and I'm hoping more artists get into this, is doing like a behind the scenes kind of things on YouTube, regular
Yeah.
16:9, not the
Hmm.
shorts obviously, but 16:9 where it's like I've heard that on YouTube when you're looking at their algorithms that people will stick for the 8 or 10 minutes or whatever longer formats. And I think behind the scenes really kind of like I think would get fans much more involved in an artist if they know more about them personally. And
Right.
hoping to see that like start to crop up and gives video creators a lot more work too.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot more content to work with. I think you just have to remind the artist that in addition to creating the music, try to get someone or shoot some behind the scenes content and videos when you're in the moment because those are the best. But sometimes they're so focused on creating the art that they kind of forget that or push that to the side. So just some nice reminders always help. Also remind them to record their live shows if possible because you never know what gold could be in there too. It's just keeping it top of mind to try to record all the content or partner with a videographer to record it for you.
Yeah, you gotta really pretty much just be everywhere. You can't just
Yes.
like you can't like I'm not gonna do social media. That's disgusting. I'm not doing it. I mean, it's like no, it's like this is advertising and not like huge dollar advertising. That would I would imagine would be down the road when you got to
Yeah.
do big
Hmm.
traditional marketing.
Yeah, but not yeah. That's the paid portion of it. I use the acronym like for Edgar Allan Poe, the author, paid, own, earned. Paid usually comes last. You really want to start to own your market first. Then earned is when kind of people are writing word of mouth about you, writing articles, etc. And then once you get to a certain level, then you can start to pay for advertisements, Google Play School, AdWords, all that. But that comes later, in my opinion.
So, what kind of artists have you helped along? It's beyond R&B. Have you gotten into other genres? Is it pretty much focused in a certain amount of different types
Yeah.
of groups?
I would say rock. I have one rock band that I work with based in Atlanta. And then also soul, pop. Those are kind of the common ones. And then starting to kind of work with a few hip hop artists too. But that's kind of where I'll kind of start from there. Yeah, those are kind of the artists that I work with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to get a variety. You can always
Yeah.
say, look, I could always expand out, so especially when you get over to Nashville, then it's all these
Oh, country. Yeah.
modern
Yeah.
country people.
Yeah.
It's just
Country.
like,
Haven't got that yet, but I'm open to it, because it's all about the music and the song.
yeah,
And a good song is a good song no matter what genre.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
true. So where'd you come up with the name for your basically your hustle, your Amani,
Oh,
the Amani experience?
experience. I was trying to, it's funny you asked that. I was trying to think of a creative name. And back when I created it, back in like '06, '07, I like the name. Now, it's like if I happen to want to sell the business, it's kind of hard to sell it if it's named after me. So I have to kind of figure out, do you make a shift? So that's kind of something in the back of my mind. Maybe I change the name or create something different. But that's what I named it back a while ago now. Kind of use my name because it's pretty unique and experience and it's aged very well.
Yeah, yeah, it stands out, and not everybody. It's not a common name so much.
Yeah.
You almost think, oh yeah, maybe is this a clothing line? I'm not sure about
Right.
that.
Yes. No R money, just Amani without the R.
Exactly. So you're yourself. I mean, you create your own music. I see you've got a keyboard. Are you
Oh yeah.
into doing your own
I
creation?
I used to do a lot of remixes and a few original things, but I kind of put that and paused that because I really want to focus on the book launch, and then growing this part of the business. So I might come back to it. I have a collaboration I do with my remix partner. It's called a Starter Jacket Remix. That's the name of us. We have about three EPs that are on Spotify you can find. We haven't created anything new in like the last 2 or 3 years because I've been focused on the book and the post book launch. But we'll see what happens in the future.
And then you say in your blurbs that you have over 20 some thousand supporters.
Hmm.
How did that grow? Was it word of mouth? Was it all your digital
Yeah.
marketing?
So word of mouth. I also was very active on like Twitch during the pandemic, which got me helped me grow my audience. And then I do a lot of work corporate groups and corporate clients. So that will kind of grow it on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is kind of one of the bigger platforms. And then probably the last year and a half, I've been focused on growing YouTube. Um, and so I've been putting up a lot of content there about the book and the music business. So really, it's like YouTube, LinkedIn, and then my email list are the primary ones. And then, of course, Instagram kind of grows on its own. It depends. So that's kind of the community there that I've kind of developed.
Hmm. What's it like putting these books together? How long does that take?
Yeah. The last book, The Quiet Storm, which is on the history of R&B groups, that took about 4.5 years. It was my thesis in grad school because I went to Berklee College of Music to get my master's in music business. And so my thesis was why there are no longer any black R&B groups in existence. And it pretty much expanded to the whole category because 99% of R&B groups were African American. And I took the research that I got from the thesis, did decade by decade analysis of the top 10 or 11 groups based on their Grammy wins, Billboard Hot 100 hits, record sales, and notable performances. And then I split it up per decade. So I put the two together. I had to go and find and license over 200 photos. So, like, I think in the book, you have at least 67 or 70 groups, and each group will have two or three photos. That's almost like 150, 200 photos. And then put it all together with my book team and launch it. Then do the audio book, release that. So it was a Herculean effort.
Yeah, yeah, all full-time job plus, and then
Yes.
some. It's
Yes.
overflowing for you by teaching and doing all this.
Yeah, yeah, it was, but very proud. The book continues to do well. I'm going to make a trivia game out of the book. That's the goal for this year. And eventually, long term will be to try to make a documentary out of it also.
That is a really smart idea. It's just getting
Yeah.
around digitally and getting
Yeah.
out there. And then you're in person too, just like every musician needs to get out there. And they really should. If you really want to really hustle, get out there, make money, you got
Mhm.
to tour, you got to play live, and then
Yeah.
you go out live speaking. So what kind of venues have you been speaking at?
Speak at major conventions. I speak a lot, just depending on who hires me. I talk about seven was resilient and brilliant, 7 keys to unlocking your creativity. And what I do is I share stories about some of the most famous musicians or bands and relate it to personal, how people can grow personally or professionally. Taking creative risks. I talk about Earth, Wind, and Fire and how they worked with David Copperfield and the Magician to make their shows, kind of very memorable. In terms of resilience, I'll talk about two kind of artists. One, the Whispers. It took them 23 years to get their Billboard top 10 hit from 1964 to 1987. Then I'll talk about a current example like Chapel Roan, where she got signed to a major deal. Then she was dropped. Then she came back, actually got to the best Grammy for Best New Artist. And then her song that she got dropped for actually got over 1 billion streams. So it's a current story that some of the younger generation can relate to also. So I try to cross generations. Also, we talk about reinvention. One of my favorite artists in terms of reinvention is Dolly Parton. She first started as a songwriter, then a singer, then a TV host, then a movie star, then owning Dollywood, the nonprofit. She's like the primary example of reinvention. And then I also talk about like New Edition, which then gave us Belle Biv DeVoe. So that's another example too. So I go through all these 7 different concepts and relate each one to how you can unlock your creativity.
Oh, it's amazing. Some of these people are incredible. Locally here, I was always impressed with Usher. Just
Oh
the
yeah,
type of
yeah,
things. Wow. I mean,
yeah,
what a go-getter. I mean, and
yeah.
the stuff he did with children here, I remember
Hmm.
because I've worked in TV and I remember him coming in with a group of kids and how he's gotten involved with doing that. So doing
Yeah,
and philanthropy also can be kind of part of like getting your name out there, somewhat
yeah,
indirectly marketing. So it's
yeah.
always fascinating to see these artists and very inspirational. That's really good that you're using those
Hmm.
artists as examples of
Yes.
how they could really thrive and get out there and reinvent yourself. That's it's very important to do that is
Yeah.
especially as a legacy artist like a Dolly Parton has been
Hmm.
able to always do that and
She's
make
she's
yourself that.
she's a phenomenal example. I mean, she did 7, 8, 10 different things and still thrives. So
Incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's all artistry from acting to music to really even business with running Dollywood. It's
Yeah,
just
and the nonprofit where she gives away books to people based in Tennessee. I got
yeah.
the name of I'm forgetting it, but she does that still to this day, and she started that early on.
Yeah, yeah. And you've worked with big brands like Marriott.
Hmm.
How
Yeah,
did that come about? Like when getting, how do you get like something like a Marriott? Is that just by happy accident?
Well, I grew up working for Marriott, so I worked for Marriott
Huh.
for almost 20 years, so I had the relationships there, and so that was a little bit easier. Then you have like just networking, Calendly, Cliff Bar, Berkeley College of Music. I went there, 7-Eleven, just referrals and networking is the primary way to kind of work with these brands. And if you do a good job, they'll call you back again.
How do you come up with some of the titles for your books, like The Quiet Storm? I mean, people might think they're like, oh, is that like a movie or something? Like some kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
yeah.
So this one came about because the popular radio format from the mid 70s to the late 90s in terms of they would play slow jams, love songs, ballads, and get artist dedications. I grew up listening to The Quiet Storm, based in WHUR, Howard University Radio in DC. The radio DJ was Melvin Lindsay, and so that was just a format of radio that I love because I love a good slow jam. And so, plus the song from Smokey Robinson, "Quiet Storm," was the theme song for the show, and it all and there, Smokey Robinson, and the Miracles, it all ties together. And the history of R&B groups, people don't really realize what's happening. So in fact, it is a quiet storm in terms of the disappearance. So it kind of fits 3 different kind of reasons for choosing the title. First the literal title, then the radio format, and then what's actually happening to R&B groups is it's a quiet storm or imperfect storm. So it fits. And when people see the title, they get it because they understand the radio format, and so it's very it's speaking into the native tongue aspect of a book title.
So growing up, were you self-taught on the instruments that you picked up? Did you pick up keyboard when you were young
So
or?
I took learned keyboard much later in life, and I had lessons. I grew up playing the saxophone and took lessons. So I had classes and took saxophone lessons a long time. DJ at first I was self-taught. Then I went to Scratch Academy to learn DJing. So I would always pretty much take classes and learn. That's kind of what I learned the best. So yeah,
Yeah, a lot of it is just diving into it. So, and some know how to read music, but you got to go to a place like
yeah,
Berkeley, I would
yeah,
imagine, where they
yeah.
really, that's intense. That's one of probably the best program in the
It's one of the
country.
best music programs in the world. I've never done as much writing as I did for that master's degree. That was in some intense amount of writing. Never have I done that much before. So yeah.
Yeah, that gives you serious discipline. It's yeah.
Especially during a pandemic where you don't know what's going on in the world. So yes.
Well, my whole thing is I felt so bad for musicians, artists who couldn't play live. It's so that's
Yeah.
why I started doing this. I'm like, what makes you tick? I mean, let's do a little live thing here on Facebook Live and
Yeah.
get yourself out there, even though we're all locked down, and just really make something of that. And that's been going on ever since. So it's
Yeah.
just like I'm always really inspired. It's like, you're magicians. That's what artists are to me. So
Yeah.
just it's very fascinating and just very fascinating. We could see all your stuff. You can get it on the AmaniExperience.com.
Right. So AmaniExperience.com, that's the website. If there's any artists that are listening to this or watching and they want maybe to set up a call with me, AmaniExperience.com/call. And I love to talk to people and see how I might be able to assist them or give them some advice.
Yeah, and a lot of artists do, and they
Hmm.
just, they need direction,
Yeah.
and they need somebody like this, like you, to be able to just like go down this avenue and do the right things because there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling how many formats, how many digital formats,
Yeah.
all the socials and everything. It's just, it's intense and it's so big.
There's a lot going on. So just try to cut through the noise, just give them the knowledge so they can make the best business decisions possible. That's my goal.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have any free time? Any hobbies beyond all this when just to get away from all this and unplug from it?
Yeah, I like to like cook, read books, of course, travel. I love to eat in good restaurants, particularly if they have good desserts, or breakfast restaurants. And so that kind of fills me up between working and now it's a little break for summer. So, get a little travel in and some quiet time. So that's generally what I like to do, and that keeps me pretty busy.
Yeah, yeah. And being in Vegas, gosh, the entertainers there. Oh my God, it's
Yeah,
endless. I mean, people with their
yeah,
residencies and it's just the
yeah. I
whole.
could I could find a good show if I wanted. So that's a great thing about living here.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for stopping by. I really, really
yeah,
enjoyed this. And
yeah.
anybody who needs any guidance, want to get into this discipline and really learn how to market themselves and get their talents out there, this is the place to go, AmaniExperience.com.
Yes, yes. I appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to share my thoughts with you, Bob. I appreciate
I thank you so much for stopping by and stumbling on me too as well. That
it. For
was,
sure.
I love that. I love that somebody just stumbles on my show. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fantastic.
Cool. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Best
All right.
wishes.
Take care.
Take care. Bye
Thanks.
bye.